Hi everyone, Carmen Disco here with the Launch Pad on the Launch Network. What's going on? We got a great show today for you, Made in USA with Mr. Christopher Guerrero. We got him on. Let's bring him. Let's talk to him. Hey Chris, what's happening, my friend?
Carmen, USA, USA.
I gotta play some music in the background.
I know, I really do. I need to play some music. How's it going? You doing all right?
Yeah, oh yeah, everything's good, man. You know, it's funny when we start the show up, let people know, Chris and I have been talking for the last half hour, and I'm like, hey, Chris, let's get the show going, man. We
Yeah.
just end up just talking, about products and people and stories and different things that happen to us in this crazy business. We've been getting a lot of good feedback for the show. Chris, what about you? You been seeing any feedback?
Yeah, a lot of good feedback. It's funny. The one thing that I hear often is people tell me it looks like you and I are having a lot of fun, right? And that's what this is all about, is sharing information, lessons learned. We've all been through the mistake curve and ways of doing it better. And today we'll talk a little bit about that. I figured today would be a good day to talk about retail, right? After we talked about all the 8 wastes and 5 S disciplines and how to do it all under one roof and Made in USA. Well, you have all that done now. Now what? What's the next step? Got to get it in retail. Got to get it sold online, Amazon, all these different avenues. I thought that would be a good place to start talking today. But I'm enjoying it, and I think people are recognizing that you and I are having a lot of fun with it as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's good that you say that, because I have been getting questions about the retail side, what it entails, how to get products in there, what is the time frame, what kind of things do you have to look for, what's packaging. There's so many different questions, and you and I are talking about it because we've been doing it so long. But if we dig into it, I think it'll help a lot of our listeners realize that it's a process getting this product into retail.
It really is. And buyers in retail are so extremely busy that you'll find some buyers respond to you right away and other buyers don't. It's just the nature of the beast. But once you get that buyer, a couple things happen. You either get invited to a line review, right? Or you get an opportunity to put it online. A lot of buyers like to try things online first before they put them in the store. Some buyers love the fact that the product might be a good one, and they'll put it right in the store. So when that happens, that's when all the fun starts. There's a lot of onboarding. You need to make sure you have retail packaging ready, and obviously before you even show a buyer to have it in retail, you need to have the retail packaging. That's a big stipulation. You talk a little bit about Tidy Hook, and I talk a little bit about how this went from initial stage of packaging, how we originally packed it, and how it evolved really over a 6-month period. So we finally now are onboarding it in Walmart USA. But it wasn't an easy process. It's not an easy product to sell. It takes some understanding of why you need it, and looking at how it hangs on the side of a seat and still gives you plenty of room in the back of the car. But really, when you look at it in the end and what we started and where we are today, the packaging is completely different. It really gives you a sense and ease of when you're walking through the store, catches your eye. It shows what it is. And then we have a bunch of videos. I've done some videos. We've done commercials, so there's a lot of demonstration and how the video assembles and where it hangs and what it's used for and the various things you can use it. But it all pertains to how to get that product to the next level. Having it made in USA, designing it, we talked about all that, right? The tooling and the lean process and keeping your costs down, great quality, speed to the market. Well, now it's reality. Here it is. It's going into a retail store.
Yeah. The backing up a little bit, and a lot of us, and a lot of my clients, I know a lot of your clients, we do that preliminary packaging, and we're selling it maybe online, on eBay, on Amazon, and we're selling it even off our own website. But when we go to retail, is it often that the retailers want to change that packaging up?
Yeah, big time. And there's some buyers that, and even some people that I work with on the rep side that have been doing this for 20 years. They can tell you instantly. They look at it and go, "Yep, it's not going to work." And let me show you. Here's a good place to kick in, right? The Tidy Hook. Look at the size of this package. It's like 22 inches long. Now, we did that because the product itself is pretty long.
Mm.
And we were concerned we didn't do enough testing initially to fold it and put it in a box. So we said, well, got a lot of text on the back. You know, again, everything that we thought we needed to show the product. Not great pictures, but it was a launch. We wanted to make sure we had it out there. We had the tooling done. We wanted to get it in front of people at shows. Now we went from this packaging, right, to now packaging half the size. Pretty quick, right? And not only that, but you reduce your cost, right? This package is about half the price. Now it's a little bit easier. Again, still too much text, photos of how it assembles. You know, I mean, we did a commercial, so we start using some different pictures for commercials. Still pretty good, but too dark, right? We bring it to a buyer and he says, yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Let me take a good look. So then you got to explain more than you have to, and you don't want to do that in the store, right? You want a potential customer or a buyer to see it instantly. So we went from that to what we consider our final packaging, which is actually going into Walmart. Right? So now you got a big picture. It instantly shows you what the product is, what it does, a couple of notes that it's for a driver. It's got a 6-gallon bag, some uses on the back. Of course, the big made in the USA on the box. You know, so I mean, just think about that for a second when you look at the iterations, right?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, look at the difference.
Right, huge. And this is more attractive. At the end of the day, now you got a package that really is attractive.
That package tells me exactly what it does, what it looks like, where it installs.
Yeah, and then now you take this and drop it into a PDQ, and now you've got it all. You've got a great package that can hang on a clip, or you can put it on a shelf.
Anywhere.
Or you can have a PDQ base, which will have a lot of the same graphics on the floor if there's no shelf space. So it gives the buyer so many options that if he's already got a planogram done and you can't get it into a shelf or even a peg rack, well, now you can take it and put it into a PDQ and have it on the floor so you find some space. And again, made in USA, it's a big deal for Walmart now. So, you know, we're onboarding it to go in all the Walmart stores in USA. And again, it wasn't an easy process, and I'm still onboarding because you have to have at this point all your DIMs, right? Your package sizes, how you're going to ship it. Has to be in a bulk pack. This is a retail pack. Has to go into a bulk pack. Has to go onto a pallet. You have to have a truck load up and put it onto the truck with a pallet. Walmart DCs get it. They distribute it to the stores. A lot of work went into this, right? And you know, I think my first meeting with the Walmart buyer was February of this year before COVID hit. And now we're in, you know, I think I got approval in October. Now we're in November, December, onboarding. So it's not a quick process. I would just say the faster you can get your package right, the quicker you can make things happen. For us now, with the material is such a high-grade material made in USA that you can, you know, it comes folded in the box. So that cut the cost down by 60%. It allowed us to have, you know, now you got more square inch to sell it on the shelf or on a peg, and the buyers absolutely love a photo that you can see from a distance that attracts buyers. And then they come over and look at it and go, yeah, okay, I see what it does. It's pretty clear. Not a lot of text, a lot of photos. It explains what it is. Side of the seat, 100-year-old problem solved, multiple uses, heavy-duty bags, tear resistant, leak resistant, fits on the side of the seat. It gives the car a new place to hang, and you don't lose any space with any of the passengers in the vehicle.
Wow. You could tell just by looking at the package, though, it doesn't look like everything's squashed together. I mean, it looks like the packaging is nice and spaced out. You know,
now the letters are bigger, right? They're quicker, they're easy to see. Shows that it's a new product. It shows, I mean, quickly now where it sits on the seat. A couple of quick stuff. If anybody walks by, they go, this is pretty attractive, right? It stands out. Many people say tidy hook. People want to see that now. It attracts you to it. The photo's big, shows up quick, and they go, okay, I can see it. And we got in the back, you know, a solution to a 100-year-old problem. There's lettering on the sides of the PDQ, so from every angle now, you can see it. And again, it wasn't a quick process. It was some time. We got some great suppliers that can turn these things around pretty quick, and we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's
getting
awesome.
It into Walmart.
That's awesome. Real quick, I had a question to come in the other day. We had a listener to our show, and he wasn't really good at talking with people. Like he could call on the phone and do stuff, but when you talk to a buyer or email a buyer, how important it is, be as truthful as possible, but get them on the phone, talk to them. Is there anything you should say, you shouldn't say, or just kind of talk to them like a normal person?
Yeah, I always talk to them like a normal person. I think the first thing, anytime you have a new product, you're always selling, right? You're always trying to pitch it. So when he saw that the first time in the old package, his first comment was, I don't know if we have a need for it. Then I really started going into, well, wait a second, it's very different. It's not like any other hooks you have in the back. It's not that cheap plastic that breaks and you got to buy another one. This will handle the cold, hot, showed how the bag won't tear. I showed how to sit on the side of the seat. So I really went into sales mode. He said, you're right. We don't have any of these in the store. This was back in February. And then COVID hit and messed it all up, right? Everybody's spring items went to week 42. So I had to do it all over again with the Made in USA pitches in October. And this is all Zoom now. So I had to do a nice presentation. I had to give them access to the screen. And I had to do the whole pitch again to 6 buyers, all different category guys on there. And they loved it. And I think I was telling you that in one of the podcasts, I told them how we had gone through this elaborate testing of bending and putting it in the freezer and trying to break the tidy hook, even the clip. And he said, well, for this to get in one of our stores, we're going to do the same testing. I said, well, you have those products? I sent them. We haven't been able to break one. So if you do, let me know. And next thing I know, we got approved. So obviously, we went to the testing,
break it,
validated it, right? And we got in. So again, it's not an easy process. I mean, COVID messed up everybody. Unless you have some type of cleaning product, you're probably doing okay. This falls a little bit in the COVID area because, people are throwing their masks and their gloves on the ground. You don't have to now. You can just take them off, get in the car, and drop it in a bag that you can throw away, or you can reuse it. It's totally up to you.
So I get all excited. The buyer says, listen, we want your product. What the heck is the next step? I mean, do you just get bombarded with paperwork? Do you got to get insurance? Do you got to order a whole bunch of them? What's really the next thing?
Everything you just said.
Besides open a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, right. It starts with an item setup, but before you even get to that, Walmart's case, there's 10 steps. The last step is the item master setup, which you need your DIMs and your package size. You need the pallet sizes, the weights, all that. Pictures, good pictures. But before that, you've got to fill out, your stuff about your company, Duns and Bradstreet, credit rating. They want to make sure you're credit worthy. You have nothing against you.
Yeah.
You got to get approved. So you got to go through all these steps to get approved, because the first step is we love your product and the price is good. That's the first step, right? So you get excited. Then you go through all the process. And the last step is item setup. So you have to have, at that point, right, you have to have everything. Your UPC code, so you have to apply for that. You have to fill out all the paperwork. You have to have everyone's contact information, who your guys are inside, who they contact if there's an issue. What are you doing with quality returns? If anything comes back, do you want it? Do you just throw it out? So there's a slew of documents you have to fill out. And the last step is truly an item master setup. And in this case, we originally were going to sell it at 12 with a different packaging. We're selling this at 6. So we have to have this whole spreadsheet done over, which we did, which shows that there's 6 to the bulk, and then it's on a pallet and how many fit in a pallet, how high. And you do have to have insurance. Like Home Depot wants you to have $8 million of insurance on something like a tick remover product.
Wow.
And on a automotive one, I think it's about $1.5 million. So you have to be
depending on the product
as well. Yeah. So there is all of that. And then even after you finish all that, then you have to go through and make sure the buyer approves it. And then it gets on their radar again, and then they give you a PO. But even that process is not easy. I think I was telling you before this, on this process where I spent 8 calls into Walmart service to set up the item master, because there was between my contract and their system, it was set up and there was a couple letters that were off, and literally it won't accept it. That's how serious the stuff is. It won't accept it. You can't get to the next level until they finally release it and approve it. So it took me 8 calls to get it escalated to finally get it approved, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm onboarding. So
Wow.
at times you want to jump out the window.
Well, to me, it's one of those things where you get excited. There's always something. You're going to run into a roadblock. You have to be patient, right? And especially with people like you and I mean, we're not patient, but we have to be, you know, and it's one of those things where I just like want our viewers to know that it doesn't go smoothly. I mean, you have to be ready for bumps and bruises.
No, I agree with you. And it is frustrating, right? And it is a process. And then, you know, I'm in the holiday season now, so everybody is 100 times busier. You talk to Amazon guys that are fulfilling orders. They service multi-million-dollar industries, and this is their busiest time of the year. So you try to get that set up and get things moving. It is what it is. You're right. You have to be the most patient you've ever been. I mean, on the Super Potty Trainer, you know, this product, it was a little bit different in that, you know, we talked about this, right? This, I had a 2-week window that either I hit it or I missed it. And at the time, we had no graphics, we had no label, we had no silicone feet, and we had no resin, but we had a tool. And I know everyone looked at me like, you're sure that's going to happen. You're out of your mind if you think you're going to do that in 2 weeks. I said, well, then who knows when you get it in? You might have to wait again to the next review, which will be in the fall, which will kick you a PO in the spring. I said, let's do it. And I got everybody rallied, and we did it. Wow. It was not easy. A lot of focus, and I was, you know, traveling at the time, so I had to travel to the plant. I wanted to be there for the setup, but we did it. And now it's in Walmart, and we have other avenues. Once you're in the door with a vendor number, that's critical, right? To have a vendor number, then you have other avenues for other products. So when you have a vendor number, you have contacts of buyers. Now you can easily show other products. And then the buyer will tell you quickly, yep, interested, not interested, not mine. Let me give you the buyer who is responsible so you can contact them.
Yeah, that is a big difference. There's no doubt. It's so important to get that first product in there and go through all these hoops. And the next product goes, you know, when you want to say a little smoother, might not go smoother, but you know what to expect.
Yeah, and you've done initially all of the vendor number work is already in the system now.
Yeah.
So your company, your insurance, all your contacts, all the basic groundwork is now completed. So the next level would just be essentially an item master setup, a new product. Like for example, we'll talk about the home, Tidy Hook Home. Here's another good example of a product that started out with packaging like this. What we had at the time, on a text, right? We kind of released them together, smaller text, but not bad. I mean, looks good. Buyers liked it, but how about a better pack? You know, 6 months later, how about
look at the difference?
Like much better pack, right? Easier to see what it's used for. Again, the back has, I mean, we call it the Tidy Hook Home. There's so many items that it can be used in, from the kitchen to the laundry room to a boat to a baseball field. I mean, it shows how the clip is used. And from this, a single pack was born. So we can sell it in different avenues. So we went through, again, same thing, lots of iterations to get to a point where we felt at some point we're going to have a PDQ that maybe one side is kind of a red and then gradually falls over to green. We'll have Made USA, Tidy Hook Auto and Home PDQ displays.
Yeah, that's a great idea because people will be used to seeing it. I could see that product myself, people buying both of them or buying at least 2 of each because, you know, everyone has 2 cars. They have their home. They have, so, or they're going to buy it for someone.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, when you talk to the buyers, it's a little funny because they're all territorial, right? Automotive is automotive. Housewares is housewares. And they say, yeah, we don't cross. I don't like, so you got to convince them to put this in a neutral area that they both get credit for. Because at the end of the day, it's a business, right? They have to make money as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, I've been up to Walmart's headquarters up there discussing products here and there, and a lot of people talk about how, you know, Walmart beats you up on the price and things like that. I've never really had that experience. They've always wanted me to give them a low cost, but they never really beat me up and tried to really get it super cheap. Have you had that experience at all?
No, I've never been beat up, but you know, I think what they do, my experience has been they try to help, right? Because if they like your product, they're pretty honest with you. Like, it won't sell. We tried to, I think initially we went for a 1988 price on this, and we sold it. It was selling. Then we started doing 2 for 1. But retail, when we got to retail, they said, I think it's too high of a price. So now it's settled at $12.95 at retail. And I think we sell it to them for $7.95. We've controlled our costs pretty well. Not a ton of margin, but at volume.
Sure.
I always joke and say, if you sell 1 million units and you make $5 a piece, awesome. But what if you sell 1 million units and you make or you sell 10 million units and you make $1 a piece, right? It's all relative to what will sell more. And I think Warren made some comments last night on one of his shows about the difference in value from something being bought at $29 versus $19. The percentages are off the chart. Like for the volumes of sales, that goes off the chart at $19 versus $29.
Yep.
Right. And again, the easier you can sell, like this one falls in under 10. Right. So I always say the you can make it, as long as it's competitive, the easier it is for a buyer. It's not a decision. It's not a $100 item. I have to really decide, do I need that? It's $8.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer. It's an easy buy.
100%. And I had the same experience. The buyer was awesome.
Yeah.
I've been up there a couple times. She, they both tried to help me. They gave me great feedback. And then they told me that same thing you do, 5, 10, 20. People will spend $5, $10, $20. They said that's right. So you're exactly right. Anything under $20, man, you're not, it's not a life-changing decision. People will just, you buy it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Even working with Menards and Home Depot, they've been really great. They've been so cooperative and easy to work with, and they've been helpful. And again, every buyer is a little bit different. Some buyers, maybe they've had experiences where they got beat up. I got some buyers that don't respond quick, right? But I got other buyers that respond in minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if it's a simple answer. They're busy. They got a lot of things going on, and I get it. So I think that the easier you can make it for them, the quicker things will fall in line. It's a fun process. It really is, but it's not an easy one. It's not a 6-week program. Some of this stuff, really Tidy Hook has been a year, right? It'll probably from the first PO we get will be about a year. Wow. Super Client Trainer, that was a little bit different scenario. I think every scenario is different, but it's not a quick and easy process, especially if you only have a concept. Right? If you don't have the tooling done yet, if you don't have the actual product in your hand, you don't have the packaging done. That's all lots of time, and you got to be patient and see it through.
Yeah, it's taken a year for you, and you're prepared. You have a product in hand. Mm-hmm, it's right. Done. It's ready to go. So it's taken some time. So I agree. The good part about it is I always talk to my clients and our listeners and things like that is, we have kind of the upper hand. All of these buyers, all these people, they're looking for products. They need new products.
Yes.
So don't be scared to reach out to a buyer, reach out to somebody who's in charge up there and talk or show them your product, because in reality, that's what a buyer's for. He's there to bring in new products, right?
Yeah. I've been on, Good Morning America and some really big shows, and honestly, they're just good people. Especially on Good Morning America, I've been on there like 5 times. Robin Roberts just did a segment on me and my engagement. Matter of fact, it'll be a year this Saturday.
Wow.
Unfortunately, New York doesn't look the same way, right? Last year was so much fun. We were in Times Square. It was just really just an exciting time, and they did a follow-up again this year on the whole proposal, and Robin talked about me a little bit. But the sweetest people on the planet. They're just genuinely nice people, and you shouldn't feel intimidated by these people, because they're just like anybody else. They have skill. It's like a baseball player, right? They have skill sets and talents that maybe you and I don't have, right? I can't hit 40 home runs a year in baseball. Dave Winfield can. But that was a story we talked about when I met him, right? We had a great conversation. He sat down and talk to me about life, about baseball tonight, and about how to get my kids scouted for professional baseball. And Brandy really didn't know who he was, and she was like, "Wow, what a nice guy! Like, who is he?" I said, "Google him. You know, a Hall of Famer." She said, "Oh, my idea." Right? But that's what I'm saying. These people are just like that. They're all like that. I mean, very rarely do you come across somebody who isn't, and that's the way you should act. You should just talk to them like they're your brother or they're one of your friends, and not and they want unique products, because at the end of the day, their job is to fill their shelves with products that consumers need and want. And if it solves a problem and it's unique, you're in.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect way to explain it. There's no doubt. There's so much to talk about going into the retail and following up. One thing you mentioned was about returns and things like that. How do you, or how do stores usually handle that stuff?
Yeah, you know, it really comes down to this. I always say the economics have to work. Like on a super potty trainer, all right, this sits on a toilet bowl. We don't want returns, right? They're not returnable. It's like a toilet seat. They always tell you that, not returnable. You know, but things like, tick remover, we warranty this for life. So if you're going to bring it back, we don't want it back. We'll just give you another one, right? Because think about the cost. If you're going to try to ship this back, I've done it a couple of times just to check it out. It's going to be damaged. The product's not going to be any good. It's ruined. Why do I want to spend another $5, $10 shipping it back to me and take the loss? Just either keep it, we'll send you a new one, or just discard it. And that's always early on in the question stage. That's one of the very first things that the retail folks will ask you. On a quality return, where do you want it? I mean, it will go against you, right? It'll go against your score. It'll go against your cost, but you have to replace it. But why do I want to add more cost to a non-value? We talked about all that, right? Non-value and value streams. It's the same thing. Why do I want to add cost to a non-value?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So we usually don't return. You can bring it back. We'll credit you, but we don't want them back.
Yeah, that's good. And I always talk to people who reach out to me and have questions like this. They may not want to go this alone for their first product. Reach out and ask people questions. Reach out to Chris, you reach out to me, reach out to the UIA. If you aren't a member of the United Vendors Association, you should join, because there's a lot of people on there that could help. Because a lot of times, right, Chris, if you're doing this on your own and you're looking at that form, I remember that first vendor form that I filled out. I mean, I was pulling a hair out of my head because you don't know that exact word or verbiage that you should say, and you think it's detrimental.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's overwhelming. I can recall the first time I did it. It's exciting. Like, I remember the first time I was so excited, thinking we're going to sell thousands of units. And it's like, no, it's usually a test trial. It's usually check. I mean, sometimes you'll just go online to see how your reviews are and how it sells. Get in the store, it's a test trial. And if it sells well, they'll continue to add, the purchase orders and increase the stores and the quantity. But it is. And as soon as you have to fill out the paperwork and go, whew, okay, I'm not even like one step closer. But it is part of the process, and you get good at it after you do it quite a few times. It's like, I always joke with Brandy, even on Good Morning America, the couple of times we went one time, show our product on Shark Tank. It was a Shark Tank Good Morning America version. And I wanted Brandy to do some talking. She said, I want nothing to do with that. No talking for me. They wanted to say, "Good morning, America." She said, "Oh, no, have him do it." Right? It's just, and even like on the when I proposed to her, she was in shock. It was just funny doing it on the set. Right? So you just got to be yourself. And she had said to me, it was kind of funny because I've done this quite a bit. So you look a little nervous today. Are you nervous? I go, she didn't know what I was doing, right? She was completely surprised. She actually thought I was doing a pitch. And that's kind of how we set it up. I was going to talk about my product in Good Morning America. And it wasn't. So I had to get my own thoughts in my head of how I wanted it to go. Because when they give you a mic and they say you got 2 minutes, you literally got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they count you down, right? 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 2 seconds, and then it's over. So if you're not done, it's over. It's cut. The biggest compliment was when my 21-year-old son said, "Dad, you nailed that." Because, everybody's looking to razz you if you don't do well, right? So
yeah,
I knew it was good if he said it right away.
Yeah, that's funny. That's awesome.
But it's the same thing. Just be yourself. I mean, it is. it is a little overwhelming at first, but again, there's so many people that can help, right? We like you said, the UIA board, how many people on that have been through this and can help? You and I'm always happy to walk somebody through the processes and help them understand it better, because it can be extremely overwhelming. I mean, Amazon, everyone thinks they can sell on Amazon, and you can, but you know what? I know people that sell on Amazon that said, I don't want anything to do with it. I give it to my rep, right? I've talked to a couple people now, and there's a lot of people that do it. There's some that are really, really good at it, and some that say they're really good at it. Well, I know a couple that are really good at it. And why would you do it if the guy's selling 100 million right now, right? They know how to do it. They know how to process it. They know how to get you the reviews and how to get on the first page. Why would you want to spend a year trying to do that and lose all that time and momentum and money, right? Because you have to pay the fees associated with it. So sometimes it just makes sense. Call the right person, get the right person to help, and move things along quicker.
Yeah, it's awesome advice. It's so important to know what you don't know. Learn. And I'm not saying to make it. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying anything new.
Absolutely,
but don't
right.
Don't repeatedly make that mistake, because a product is like a living thing. You got to get it moving. You got to keep it rolling. And you only have that window. If a buyer asks you to fill out a form or get them a sample or do whatever, that buyer expects it to be done. And,
like you said, you don't know what you don't know until you know. And that's part of my background with lean, right? I always say you don't realize how much non-value you have until you start mapping it out and realize it, right? So that's something I think that's a big thing to think about, right? But also don't think every time you did something like, I always heard like from Vernon, oh, we should have done this differently. We made a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's what we had at the time to get it so people can start seeing it. Okay, yeah, this is 100 times nicer. All of these packaging, right? 100 times nicer. Looks great. These aren't mistakes. It's product development. You never end up going to retail with the first product you develop. It's unheard of, right? That's why it's called product development. I spent many years in corporate America developing products for Ford Motor Company and BMW. And we talked about the one-ace gas cap and the anti-lock braking systems. It's all called product development for a reason. You're developing it to make the best product. Even when I first started, and I'm dating myself now, back in the early engineering days, what was the warranty? 36,000 miles. Then was the big next milestone. All of our products had to meet 100,000 miles. How in the world were we going to do that? It's product development, better material, better design, better performance, better function in the vehicle. And now, now there's like BMWs, they service your car for 4 years. You don't pay anything. It's 100% covered. So all of that is product development. Whether you started out with a product, what it looked like to the latest product that's in the retail shelf, everybody I know has a story, how they started and where they ended up now and how it happened. So I don't want anybody to think it's ever a mistake. It's product, it's development. Marketing is developing, packaging is development, your products all development.
Yeah, it's so great that you say that, because a lot of times, I keep coming back to me, my clients, they think that we're going to hit it on the head, the first design, the first shot. I'm like, it's impossible. It's a reason that they didn't put astronauts in the first rocket they fired off,
Absolutely. I mean, I can tell you, I can recall the first time we made the tidy hook and snapped the clip. I thought I lost Vernon. I've been working on it for a long time. I'm like, Vernon, I've been trying to tell you that like the polypropylene may not be the best one for cold temps, right? It's it's glass brittle. So you add some ethylene and get some blends, and that's another thing, a benefit about doing it in the US. It's all on site. It's right there. You're seeing it. You're testing it. You can check it with everybody else and make those changes on the fly. And now we can't get Walmart to break it.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. All right, well, cool, man. We're gonna close up the show. There's so much more we're gonna talk about, especially on the retail side. We're gonna follow your story, and that's gonna help us and our listeners out, because you'll be experienced good for us.
Oh, absolutely. I have so many stories to tell. This will be a lot of fun as we continue to go down this journey.
No doubt. So, no, that's great, Chris. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun talking, and we let everyone know, again, reach out. You could find Chris. what's the best way to reach out to you? Is there an email, or should you just find you on
Yeah,
social
you
media?
just chrisguerrera.com, and all my information is right on there, or paceimpact.com, and all the information you need to get a hold of me is right there.
Yeah, no doubt. And as I said, you're on social media a lot. You can reach
Yes.
out to me. Reach out to me. Find me on any social media site. Send me a message. Send me a note. I would love to hear from you. Who knows? I might be able to get your question answered right here on the show live. That would be a lot of fun. And we'll catch you next time on our show. If you can, please go on out to the UIA. Make sure you become a UIA member. It's free. We'd love to see you join. There's a lot of free resources. Go on out to Google Play or iTunes, and you can subscribe to our show. But also go on to the Launch Network on YouTube. You'll get to see myself and Chris and all the things that we're talking about when he shows up. One of the packaging things, you'll be able to watch it live and see what we're talking about. And that's a lot of fun. We just started the YouTube site, so it's pretty cool to have those videos up there, right, Chris?
I think it's great. You get the visual, right? Like talking about it's one thing, being able to hold up the product and show the product. Even when we talked about the tiny hook clips and all the design work that went into it, it's great to see it. I agree. And Carmine, I really appreciate you. I mean, you do a lot of stuff for the developers and inventors in the community. I just want to say personally, I appreciate everything you do, and I really enjoy, and it's showing right on the show that we're talking about this stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for saying that. I same with you. All the things that I've been through, we're trying to get out there and let people know you're not alone out there. And like you said, man, just keep moving stuff, keep going, because this is a fun business if you control the craziness, right?
Absolutely.
As much as we can. So for Ms. Christopher Guerrera, for myself, Carmen Danisco, we thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time on Made in America. You all take care.